The Indian economy is currently on track to grow by more than 9% in a sharp rebound from last year's contraction. The official forecast is for the current fiscal year that ends in March and is in line with IMF estimates. If it's met, India would be one of the fastest growing major economies in the world, outpacing the likes of China, Japan, and the US. In the previous 12 months, the Indian economy shrank by more than 6%. The government unveiled the new projection during a budget presentation for the 2023 fiscal year. Narendra Modi's government wants to raise spending on infrastructure projects like ports, roads, and train lines to fuel a sustained recovery. New Delhi says these investments will help keep India's prospects bright.
We forecast that India's GDP will grow in real terms by 8 to 8.5% in 22-23. So the growth for 2022-23, we argue in the economic survey, will be supported by widespread vaccination coverage, gains from a large number of supply-side reforms, easing of regulations, robust export growth, availability of fiscal space to ramp up capital spending, and so on.
Now for more, let's go to Harish Bijoor. He's a business strategy specialist in Bangalore. Welcome back to the program, Harish. Now, the finance minister just finished her presentation, one of the longest speeches of its kind in India's history. What are your key takeaways from this presentation?
Okay, budget speeches are typically long, normally filled with poetry and a lot of rhetoric. But I like this one. The top line of it is there is a need to expand the Indian economy in terms of looking at a bigger GDP pie. And to that extent, if you want to extend the economy, you have to invest in infrastructure, you have to create new jobs, and you have to create renewed consumer spending. And I do believe Budget 2022 addresses all those three aspects that are pretty crucial.
Right. So you mentioned consumer spending. It's still below pre-pandemic levels. How does this budget address that?
Okay, not yet. I don't see anything at the spending level being addressed. I think everything is about, the input in terms of creating the supply. So the demand side economics need to be addressed by the private sector. And I think that's going to be a crucial issue. Because in India, one of the key issues which we are going to grapple with in 2022-23, the budget years, is going to be inflation. And this inflation is not created by a fiscal deficit, because fiscal deficit, first of all, is very big. It's at 6%, whereas, of GDP, whereas typically pre-pandemic, it used to be at 3%. But it's going to be created by what we call imported inflation, because everything we import is going to be much more expensive: oil, oil seeds, food oils, and literally everything, including lentils and pulses, which we import. So import substitution, one focus area, which I do see in Budget 2022.
Right, so these big spending plans, they're promising higher spending on infrastructure, on a lot of things, subsidies, as you say, but they're keeping corporate taxes and income taxes steady. Where is the government finding the fiscal space to bankroll these grand ambitions?
Well, at this point of time, the fiscal deficit at 6% is a telling story. But, I think apart from it, if you really look at what's going to come, it's going to come over the next 3 to 5 years. I don't expect 2022 to 23 being a miracle year. It's going to take time.
All right. Harish Bijoor, we thank you for joining us with your analysis in Bangalore.